I-V-M.
Hey everybody, welcome to another rebroadcast of Shunya 1. Today we're going to rebroadcast episode number 51. This episode was Kunal Mehta. We recorded this last year, released it on the 1st of May. What was really interesting about this conversation to me was both Shiladitya and Kunal have spent time in the loyalty programs. So I was basically a little bit of a fly on the wall over there, just listening to the two of them talking about this stuff. And I learned a lot, and I think you will as well. And so why don't you go ahead and listen?
Hey, today we have Kunal Mehta who's here with us. Hey Kunal, how's it going?
All good. How's it going with you?
It's been a long time. I have of course known Kunal for many years now, while we have both been entrepreneurs in the very interesting space of loyalty.
I have known Kunal for many minutes now.
And I would love for Kunal to tell us about the story of how he's built his first startup and second startup and then had an exit as well, and now is on to some very cool things in a whole new domain. So over to you.
So by this journey into loyalty, I never wanted to get into loyalty. But we started somewhere in 2009 when we thought that couponing was a big industry that was coming up. And couponing at that time, we were still doing with paper coupons. Like people used to carry paper coupons, and people used to kind of go and redeem it, stuff like that. And we had these feature phones at that time. I had a Nokia E70, I remember, or a Nokia N9, I don't know, some phone I had, which is a feature phone. What we did is we kind of created a couponing portal. It's a repository where we could list all the offers that are going on in the city, and you could come online and you can find out that which offer is going on in your city and which you should come and avail of. It was called Sale and Offers, the entire brand, saleandoffers.com. The idea came to us because when I was studying in college, I used to be a deal monger completely. Or deal monger, rather, I used to have an eye for deals.
All of us, I would say.
And correct. So I was that kind. And my friends used to always kind of tell me, Kunal, when this sale comes up, let me know. I'll come with you. We'll go shopping, this and that. I used to be the guy who used to be on the lookout for dates. Mm-hmm. So we actually made this into a business. After I got married, and me and my wife and one more friend, we are kind of thinking that what do we want to create? And this is the idea that came up, that why don't we actually make this into a business? We have been doing it socially. Why not do this? So when we started, it was a very crude model. We created a portal. We created an M-Coupon technology platform, which was new. We were one of the very first players to do this M-Coupon platform, M-Couponing at that time. Mm-hmm. And where we can distribute unique coupon codes on the mobile phones and somebody could verify it on the POS. So we give them a web interface to verify the coupon codes and stuff like that. So when we started this, we thought it was really cool. And we started talking to retailers to list their offers, on the website. We used to have people spread out the Bombay Times. Bombay Times used to be a big, medium to get the offers at that time. So spread out Bombay Times, get all the offers, have a structured way into getting data inside on the site. And this is how we started. So we used to get about 6 to 7 publications every morning in the office. Mm-hmm. And people used to sit and just go onto the website of those newspapers, get on the content and stuff, start with it.
So this manually transcribing.
Because at that time,
what Zomato was in the early days in a lot of ways.
2009, I didn't know any better way. To do it. So
I don't think there was a better way.
There was exactly. So, but the good thing was there were e-websites, e-newspapers.
Right.
Because we were still desktop oriented at that time. So e-newspapers, we used to kind of, click a snapshot of the image.
Right.
Just to upload images as well. The same thing.
So you were able to use this to get to other cities as well, outside of where you were located as well.
Yes, exactly. Right. So we started Bombay, Bangalore, Pune, Delhi, a lot of other cities, and we started kind of, pulling in offers there. The cool thing that we did is we had a section for special offers, featured offers, where we used to go to these places and tell them to give us a special offer and we'll advertise it and we'll distribute coupon codes. So this is where we started sourcing offers for our own website, for saleandoffers.com. Otherwise, it was completely free of cost. For the other offers, whatever you're advertising, you can just come and get there. So this happened and a few months passed by when we started building content. And we start getting some, traffic as well. And I had absolutely no plan what to do next. We thought that when we started this, we'll okay, advertising will be the key. I was completely naive. I just had a gut feeling of an idea. I started it, built it. Then I realized that how will I make money now on this? Because advertising, it's not going to be that easy as I thought. So that's when we started thinking that what do we do? If you remember, back in those days, Vodafone used to do this booklet called the Vodafone Privileges.
Yes.
The square booklet.
Yes.
They used to have some host of a dozen or 2 dozen offers in it. And what they used to do is, if you're a Vodafone subscriber, you have been sent this booklet. They expected every Vodafone subscriber to carry that booklet every time so that they can redeem offers whenever they come across. The booklet became a big hit because people kind of, loved that because it was not very common to get offers from your telco.
And there were good offers too.
Great offers.
Yeah, they were not... They weren't basically crappy. It wasn't like
Exactly.
5% off a dinner.
It was great offers, but there were very few redemptions because people always forgot their booklets home.
Yeah.
So redemptions were a problem. So one day I remember I kind of told my teammate that why don't you pick up the phone and call up Vodafone and let's see if we can digitize the thing for them. Vodafone, he picked up the call. We didn't know LinkedIn was still not there, or it was kind of building up, and we still don't know how to get in touch with the right guys. So my team member was not able to do it, and I wanted to show him that okay, no, you can do it. You should be able to do it. I had no clue how to do it myself. So I called up the call center. I somehow managed to get the name and the number of the marketing manager who handles the property. I spoke to that guy, and apparently they were looking for somebody like us who could help them do this. So I'm like, perfect. We have got somewhere. We go into the meeting about sometime later, and we tell them that this is what we do. We can digitize your coupons and all stuff like that. Turns out that they wanted nothing of it. They're like, can you source offers for us? I'm like, okay, we can.
Always say yes.
Yeah, always. I had no clue what I want. We can. Then came the other catch. Okay, we want you to sell the offers, sell the space as a media. We want you to do media sales for this Vodafone Privileges booklet. I'm like, how is that possible? People are giving you offers. How will they pay for it? You're not a Times of India. You're not a major publication. No, we want to do this. Will you do it? I said a yes. I said a yes immediately. It didn't take me any. But when I walked out, I'm like, shit, how will I do? What will we do? How will we sell it? It looks like a Herculean task. Turns out then we kind of, we had a small team. We made strategies. We kind of, charted on the paper. Whom do we want to contact? What do we want to do? Stuff like that. And we ended up, in the matter of about 30-35 days, we ended up getting them some 28 offers. All of them paid.
Okay.
All of them paid. At that, I still remember we collected 6 lakhs for Vodafone at that time. And I couldn't believe what I did. I couldn't believe how that could happen, but it just happened. And the good part was what we did is to digitize the offers. Below every offer, we used to put an SMS so-and-so code to this number so that you can get the unique coupon code.
Exactly.
So we got Domino's, we got Cafe Coffee Day, we got Gelato ice creams, one-on-one, this, that, a lot of good offers. Club Mahindra, and everyone paid. Everyone paid. Like the payment started from 10,000 bucks to 25 to 30,000 rupees a piece. So it was a good deal for us, and Vodafone was really, really surprised and happy at the same time. Later I learned that Vodafone had already tried this.
Okay.
They couldn't do it themselves.
So
They didn't tell me this before. So they wanted someone to actually front it for them.
yeah.
Because it was too much of a ego clash for them to someone to say no to Vodafone that I wouldn't pay you. We ended up doing a good job, so they are like, oh, how did let's do something. Let's keep on doing this. So Vodafone Privileges is where we started. So at that time I didn't know, but we became a B2B privilege programs company. We used to get alliances for people, for companies, for their customers, and we used to host it on our proprietary M-Coupon platform. So distribution of coupon codes and everything used to happen from our platform. So we could control it. We could know that who's taking it and who's redeeming it. So we had visibility at that time into that. So which was a really cool thing.
Right.
So Vodafone, from Vodafone we got on to, if you know, in 2011 there was an event called HT No TV Day. No TV Day was an event conceptualized by Hindustan Times.
Okay.
They wanted people to step out of their houses.
Yes.
no TV on that day.
Yeah.
Family
I
step
think they've
out.
tried it a few times.
They tried it 3 times. The first 2 years was super. The third time it kind of their budget shrunk, and the fourth time the budget was nowhere to be seen. So it just they still do it on social media. They still have a page, a very they have a great following there. I don't know if there's doing something there, but at that time their idea was that, can you guys help us to get about 300 deals across Bombay, across the restaurants in Bombay. And they were doing events, they were doing some painting competitions for the kids, some open bus rides and stuff like that, a lot of things. Our job was to get the entire all the alliances and host it on our M-Coupon platform. So in fact, then they kind of got into that argument with us, why your M-Coupon platform? We wanted the data to ourselves. So we kind of white labeled it for them, helped them build their own platform, jointly kind of did that. And we got them about 350 offers for that day, for that one day. It was the last Saturday of January, I still remember. And it was one of the biggest projects I'd pulled off. Wow. So, 350 offers the entire day from 11 to about 1 in the night. We had support teams kind of, making sure that people who face issues in redemption, because you think about 2011 and mobile coupons, and people are still new to mobile coupons, and there are redemption issues. It could happen. It still happens today. So we had people on the call. So we had a call center number that if you face any problem, please call here and we'll help you. So in this, what we did is we bypassed Hindustan time. We used to get the user calls directly so that it can be faster, and we did a really great job on this event. So that's how it kind of started growing, the B2B arm of Sale and Offers. From there, we got noticed by MasterCard India, which turned out to be our biggest client. We kind of worked with MasterCard for about 5 years from there on, starting with 2011. And we did the same thing for them, for MasterCard, get them alliances hosted on our M-Coupon platform, and then also help them run campaigns. So they were the title sponsor for Mumbai Indians at that time. So, they used to run campaigns like meet and greet the players. Whoever spends the most at Cafe Coffee Day or a Chroma or so-and-so, you get to meet the players and stuff. So then we worked with Idea Cellular, Airtel, Loda Constructions and all. But over a period of time, I realized that what we wanted to do is become a product company. Became a services company, of course, in a small technology platform for the M-Couponing thing. The MasterCard thing, that the MasterCard account, when we won it, we know that we won it from a company called Jasper Infotech.
Oh,
I know that name,
So think of yes.
Jasper Infotech, at that time I was ecstatic. I'm like, I got the account from these guys. So Jasper Infotech is the guys, they started Snapdeal, Kunal Mehta and Rohit Bansal.
There you go, that's fine.
So I was ecstatic. I was like, we won the account from them. Turned out that they were going on to greener pastures. I was getting into what they were already shunning. It was a good business. I'm not complaining, but it's just that how the coupons business evolved, how it kind of one day it became the queen of the town. You saw a lot of coupon buying websites, group buying websites. Yes. We realized that we were not selling coupons. We are just distributing free coupons, and we are kind of doing these privilege programs. So how do we now get there? We have to see if we can ride the wave. And the money had dried up on the tech front.
Yeah.
You were making money, but still, on the tech front, you will have to again start from the fresh, do something. We are still new to this commerce thing myself. I'm not a techie. I had to figure that piece out. So I created a website called bookmydeal.com in 2012.
Okay.
I really love the domain. I still have it. So I created that. The idea was that we work with the same partners that we worked with for all these programs, but we created a separate brand for it. So Book My Deal kind of saw the light. About 3-4 months, the entire couponing industry crashed. It was around that time.
Right.
I think Free Charge also happened, and
Free Charge kind of started doing other things. But the Groupon, the So Sasta, the Deal and You, Deals and You, and stuff like that.
they all
Snapdeal pivoted to being an e-commerce website.
Right.
So we kind of saw that that's happening. So we kind of shut it down. And then we were running saleandoffers.com, and we were thinking what do you do now? What do you do to make a product? Multiple ideas, this, that we can do. So then we hit upon 2 ideas at that time in 2013. One was an e-commerce driven idea where what we thought is that we'll build a brand, where a marketplace that could help customers sell their brands sell their products. At the same time, we'll have a central inventory system that could help them sell products on other marketplaces too. And it will also create their own website. So it was a Shopify come brown tape come all kinds of model put together in 2013. I didn't know how will I do it, but I thought it was a really cool idea.
I think it's a really cool idea today.
Even today, the use case is still there. So, but yes, of course, we have matured as a market much from that time. So we created a brand called WooCart. And we started building it. At the same time, there was another idea that we were working on. It was mobile driven. So, the idea was that we all carry our loyalty cards, physical loyalty cards. We are all part of many membership programs. But we never carry our loyalty cards because it's just plain inconvenient. What do you do with it? Just announce your phone number, membership number, something, and they'll find it for you. There's no real engagement. What you're doing is you're just engaging at the POS, and when you walk out of the door, you're forgotten. So it's just a commodity. You're using it as a currency. People thought it's loyalty. It's not loyalty. In my opinion, at least.
In some other part of the city, I was thinking the exact same thing at that time. 2012, why do we carry all these loyalty cards? Let's make an app for it.
Sadly, we met a little later.
We met later.
We should have met a little earlier, but anyway.
And discouraged each other.
Yeah. You always keep your competition closer, but try to derail him. But so we did this. At that time, we were thinking then, people were telling us, and we were still a bunch of young kids. We didn't know we had a startup. I was in that zone. We are still trying to figure out and the startup industry had just started booming, had just mushrooming. Then we realized, okay, we are on to something very cool. If we create a great company, it can take us places. So, but we had a problem. We had two products. We had one which was just carrying all the loyalty cards and mobilizing it and, getting people to engage and transact over mobile, over the e-commerce thing. So my wife, who's my other co-founder, she wanted us to do WooCart. And she had a really great inclination that, okay, we should do WooCart. The other team members, so we used to take everyone's opinions at that time. We were a team of about 10 to 12 people. So we used to get people and tell them, okay, this what is the opportunity, what should we do? We all the majority people chose mobile because mobile was sexy at that time. Apps are just coming up and people are like, oh, mobile is the way to go. This is going to be the next thing. And, I got my first iPhone in 2011. Then the app ecosystem started blowing up. So we thought this is where we should be. So we parked WooCart. And we
didn't listen to your wife, basically.
Yeah, you didn't listen to my wife. I'm still paying for it. So, but I think in hindsight, we didn't know. Actually, it was just what is close to our heart. It was very subjective. That what idea do you like? But then we all, as a team, we took a call and we started building InLoyal. So WooCart took a back step, and we built InLoyal and we launched it in 2014. So InLoyal, the way we built it was where you could carry all your cards digitally, but there's no correlation between them. There's no relation. It's the way you carry cards in your wallet. Okay. Every card is independent. When you tap on any of the card, you go inside. You can find out if you can see points and what are the points worth. You can see the offers of that particular card, and you can even redeem points if at all. We were hoping that some loyalty company will tell us that some program like a Shopper Stop, a Lifestyle, will tell us, okay, let's start redeeming, because that's ultimately will lead to sales. Right. So we built the entire platform, and we started approaching all these guys, all the players. And now I realize the mistake I made, which I'll come at it. But when we started talking to Shopper Stop and Lifestyle and a lot of these players, the big players at that time, Jet Privilege and all, we realized that they are in a cocoon at that time because everyone wanted to build their own app. Right. Yes. Like we wanted to, everyone wanted to. But we foresaw that aggregation is the way that the economy will work. Otherwise, individual apps, how many are you going to install? Install, retain, a lot of other. So you end up spending your marketing dollars on marketing your app and retaining those people instead of doing what you're supposed to do. But there was no one to tell them at that time. If I tell them, I used to wear a coat. When I go meet these guys, I used to look so young. They never used to take me seriously. So I used to wear. You
needed the beard. I learned that early on.
Exactly. I should have painted my hair also a little white or something like that. But I used to do this, meet them. They all used to love the idea, but they used to like, okay, let me come back.
Right.
In India, there's a big, there's an unspoken rule.
Yeah, it's a bias that
It's a bias. No customer will tell you no.
Yeah.
They will always keep you, at the
Hanging.
doorstep.
Yes.
No, kabhi zarurat pad gayi to.
Exactly.
For them also, maybe.
Yeah.
If you work outside, it's not like that. They're very clear. In India, they keep on giving us hope, but they never give the business. So you can imagine how that turns out to be. So we realized that okay, the big guys are not coming in, are not so keen about this. What do? So we changed the strategy. We during 2014, early 2013, we got a inquiry from one of the malls in Bombay. They wanted to run a loyalty program. Now this is also something very new. Malls don't run loyalty programs. So we did this. We said that okay, let it come. Let's see. Let's figure out. The strategy was that if we do loyalty programs for the malls and loyal is there within the malls, then you're targeting the 200, 150 odd retailers also within the malls.
Right.
And you become, a brand that they know. So we started this. We took on the job. We created a B2B platform as well to manage loyalty then. So then we became a B2B2C player.
Wow.
So we launched InLoyal with our first customer in 2014. That was Infinity Malls in Bombay. We launched their program. Customers had to download the app to manage their loyalty program. We provided an interface to their executives to register customers. Customers could register by downloading the app also.
Yeah.
So the idea was that anybody, anywhere, can become a member of Infinity Malls program without having to be physically present, which was a powerful idea back then, 4-5 years back. So this is where we started. We went on to do loyalty programs for Oberoi Mall. We went on to do Lulu Mall, which was our biggest customer. Pavilion Mall, Diesel. We even did a short stint of running programs for Diesel, the denim brand. Which was owned by Reliance brand. So we kind of started.
Still is, I guess. Yeah.
Still is. So we started foraying into single retail loyalty as well. So that is how InLoyal also came into being, and we kind of started working there. Sale in offers was which is ongoing. The projects were ongoing, but we pivoted. We thought that okay, let's not make the same mistake we made before. Let's not focus on too many things. We pivoted and we kind of focused our energies on InLoyal.
Yeah, I think that's when we have already been talking, and
that's when we started.
I also realized that the individual mobile app space is not so strong, whereas the ones backed by the brand, backed by a larger brand, of course, are. And then, of course, you guys went on to finally exit
B2B2C
from this company.
We did that in 2016, yes.
Yes. So I think I was the happiest that, okay, someone in this domain has found, found a buyer for innovative new product, which InLoyal was. And of course, that the company which acquired you ended up being one of the existing sort of old school
loyalty
players in the market, right?
So I think I got lucky there, because during the turn of 2015, when we took on Lulu Mall, we just started getting traffic, like crazy traffic, and they were kind of breaking our system, because of course my technology was built on not built to be scalable. I still needed funding so that I can make a better technology so that it's scalable and it's better. So when Lulu Mall came in, it's kind of, we started getting that traffic, system started crashing. We realized, okay, this is a good problem to have. We need to now, start looking for capital. The problem was we were in November 2015 when the
capital had all dried up.
It was a brutal time. Yeah. So and any which is loyalty, any which is at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah. Loyalty is like after people pay for everything else, they throw money on maybe
exactly
pet startups. We come after that.
In a bull market also, loyalty would get the last, priority. And I was in a bearish market. So I'm like, what do we do? So 1 month I was like chasing people here and there, and I realized it's not going to cut the cake. So I started thinking that, okay, why don't we approach strategic investors?
Right.
Strategic players, because what we need is capital, and because InLoyal was a B2C product as well, we need an influx of clients as well. We cannot do it all by
you
ourselves.
need marketing money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's when we started talking to to a lot of companies who were doing loyalty the old school way also, and they were upgrading themselves as well. And we spoke to a couple of them. We started getting immediate, interest and negotiated stuff like that. So in a matter of 4 months, one guy was supposed to invest. The other two companies kind of gave us acquisition offers. The other guy who was giving us an investment offer also changed to acquisition. So then it was playing out well for us, and we thought that, okay, why not take an exit and see if this is the right call. I don't know whether we made the right or wrong call. But loyalty, I wanted someone else to own it. I'll run it. But the stress of running a loyalty company is like, it just it can get to you. Get to you.
I totally empathize in so many ways with what Kunal is saying. But I mean, I think this is the story which he just mentioned, right? It's for me also. It's running through all the ideas which I had at one point and realized that there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of struggle in this domain, and of course. I want to take a quick break actually and come back and deep dive into what Kunal is doing now and how he made the journey from finally moving from loyalty. Or have you? Have you really moved?
I think I have. I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
From the sound of it, I think it's still very much in you.
I think I should just jump off the window.
Of loyalty. But we'll come back and talk some more.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. The greatest place on earth to work on. If you're interested in working with us, please do send us your resume, careers@indusvox.com. We're looking for people in business roles. We're looking for people in creative roles. We're looking for audio engineers, graphic designers, all kinds of things. So please do apply. Also wanted to ask everybody, please tell a friend about your favorite podcast on the IVM network. We really do depend on your word of mouth. You are our biggest ambassadors, and we'd really, really appreciate all of your support. Also, if you are enjoying what you listen to, take a screenshot, tag us on social media, and we will repost that. This week on Cyrus Said, Cyrus is joined by Eva Budd. She's the head of Bollywood content at 9X Media. Eva recounts some of her favorite and not-so-favorite experiences interviewing Bollywood celebs, her new podcast, 9XM Soundcast, available on the IVM Podcast Network, and displays her singing talent. This week we're launching a new podcast called Football Shootball. It's hosted by 3 diehard football fans, Gaurav Sapre, Sivram Parmeswaran, and Karthik Iyer. Tune in to get your weekly football fix that brings in-depth analysis along with unhinged banter. First episode releases on Wednesday, 7th of August. On the season finale of Not Just Dansak, Bobby Bright Prasen Patel meets Chef Bawa Farhad Kurkaria, also the co-host of Keeping It Queer. They talk about the varieties of dhansaks and how there's no one way of cooking it. On Simplified, Chuck and Naren are joined by guest Tony Sebastian for part 2 of the history of the Cricket World Cup. On Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch, Janice and Anirudh talk about the critically acclaimed Emmy-nominated show When They See Us. On The Origin of Things, Chuck narrates a story about the early internet, smut, and an unlikely investment. On What a Player, Mikhail Admeda is joined by comedian Joel D'Souza to discuss cricket, football, Formula One, and of course, darts. On the Habit Coach podcast, Ashton Doctor talks about journaling and narrates examples of prominent people who maintain journals of their lives. He also explains how to keep a journal and learn more about your mind. On the Empowering series, Zarina Poonawalla is joined by the managing director of Genetic Callnet Consultancy, Vishal Keswani. They talk about how you can discover a suitable career and how to deal with conflicts in any industry. And with that, let's get you on with your show.
All right, welcome back, guys. I think we had a amazing refresher on all my memories of
loyalty,
running a loyalty company.
I think you should do an episode where you are sitting on that side of the table and then you ask a question, come this side and answer.
Answer it myself.
You can do a 1 hour episode with yourself.
Yes, I really should. But I mean, I'm really thrilled that you got to tell the story of how it all came together, and obviously you finally exited. And now that puts you in the very exclusive club of having sold a company in the past, right? So I'm sure now raising funds will be a lot easier.
I don't know. I have not tried it yet, frankly. Yeah. And yes, I think people look at you in a different light when you sell a company and you're able to find an exit. For me, it was earlier. I was in two minds. We were kind of thinking whether we should do that or not do that because we really wanted to run it. In fact, you wouldn't believe this. The company whom we didn't take. We exited. We got acquired by Hansa Security, but there was another company who was willing to pay more money.
Okay.
But they
Wow.
wanted us to kill the business and come in, merge into their product. We still wanted to run in loyal. We still saw that, okay, there is a merit over here in the use case. There is something that we can do over here. So why not run it? I'm still passionate that way. So we product guys, I'm not a techie guy, I'm a product guy.
Right.
So, you sometimes get carried over with, you don't know, you have a gut feeling. One day in the shower, I had an idea for InLoyal, came out, Uri, we should do this, let's do this. Like, what are you talking about? So then you can keep on working on that idea. You don't know when you started, putting together a product deck and you build it. But at that now, if I were to do it, I were to advise my younger self. I would kind of, go to the clients, go to a few people, get some advice how to do it, rather than going through that product iterations again and again after learning it from the market. So earlier we built first and sold later. Now I would completely want to do it
Sell
the other
first.
way. Yeah, completely.
Sales first. And I want to ask you, Kunal, so you were doing all this while, like you mentioned, you went through all the ups and downs of the startup funding market, and you were focusing on this domain, right? Which is so different from what the rest of the ecosystem was going towards. Like you said yourself, Snapdeal got out and went into e-commerce.
Yeah.
Like transactions were moving online.
Correct.
What were you seeing in the offline market? Like, do you think, we know that retail is still big in India?
Yeah.
But e-commerce is being always touted and talked about as the bigger thing, as so much more potential and so on.
Correct.
What's your personal experience been firsthand of how big retail really is and how much of it is still left in the market?
So I would say, if you look at India and if you look at where online retail started, which is the US, if you look at the US market, even today, although online is growing, booming, Amazon is taking them left, right and center, but even still, offline retail is very much dominantly there, present. And it's been, 20 years to Amazon? The time period where online retail in India has grown has shrunk. The time, it's no longer that, if it's going to happen in the US 20 years back, it's going to take 20 years for India to catch up.
Right.
The time is shrinking. The time gap is shrinking because of the technology, because of where we are, how the world is. So if you ask me, I think in India, shopping is an experience. Why I see still promise in the offline market is because when the online onslaught came in, when Flipkart and everyone started discounting their products and offline retail actually took a hit, they reinvented themselves. They kind of, you look at the shopping malls, you look at the stores, you look at the way they were kind of doing things. They started talking to technology players themselves. They made a lot of mistakes in this, and offline retail still has a lot to learn from online, but they were ready to adopt, ready to experiment. Now they are looking at, they experimented with beacons and, you are tracking the customer's location, heat maps, this, that, I want to understand. Sometimes I find these offline retailers not having clarity, but they know that others are doing it. So I should also, pick it up. I should also do it. There are very few players whom I've met who are actually doing it, thoughtfully and ahead of the curve. So I would say offline retail has a lot of promise because of the kind of the market we are in. We love to shop offline. The touch and feel, I wouldn't say that, but we have long past that. We now are okay with ordering phones online. We are okay with paying for for expensive items online and getting it delivered home. But if you look at shopping as an experience, online will never give you that experience.
Right. Do you think that experiential thing has to do with the fact that so things which are commodities, right? Like a phone's a phone, right? I mean, like a Nokia phone or a Motorola phone or a Pixel, it's going to be the same no matter where you get it from. Same with the television, same with the DVD player, same with the music system, all that kind of stuff. So do you think that that is the kind of difference that you're saying, that is the stuff that is selling online as opposed to stuff which is more experiential? People are going offline to buy.
So I wouldn't even say that. So where you are right is like commodities are selling faster, which is why Flipkart, they try to get away from the smartphone market. They try to do something new because smartphones
everyone's trying to do fashion and whatnot, right?
So but Myntra, You look at how Myntra's done fashion.
Right.
I simply love the tech.
I think I love Myntra too.
I love the tech. As in Flipkart, Jabong, all our group companies, but Myntra has been ahead of the curve in terms of bringing in new stuff, bringing in how the user experience should be, how the UI should be. The only problem which Myntra I don't think can solve with technology is that after a point of scrolling through products, I'll get bored.
Yeah.
I get bored. There are people who love it, but I have a particular time. I can only see about a few products. Then whatever I like, I store it. I buy it. Whatever I do with it, whatever my inclination is. But I can only browse so much. With offline shopping, it's not that. If you're at a mall, if you're at a store, you browse, you go from here to the other place. Then you do window shopping. Then, acha, mere ko ye bhi kharidna hai. You kind of step into other store. So you do a lot of ad hoc buying. A lot of impulsive buying happens. Offline, online bhi hota hai, but online, the way the way the experience was cultivated within us, we look for deals.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have you ever done this where you have seen a product offline and you have seen a deal online and you wait for you kind of not buy there, but you go online and buy it? I've done that.
So I think I'm not a typical use case because I don't like going shopping at all.
I
do that.
it.
I buy everything online. I don't look for anything offline. I mean, like I hate going offline. If there's a possibility of getting something online.
It's true. So you're already moved to that. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who by default end up going offline. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's still people walking into all these malls, and you've seen that data firsthand, that people walk in hordes, right? It's an experience.
It is, yeah.
So I'll tell you some point of data. With InLoyal, at the time of walking out of InLoyal, we had processed some 350 crores worth of loyalty sales. We are sitting on data of 350 crores worth of sales. 35 million points were issued, 17 plus million points were redeemed. So we kind of, knew a lot of, these are only loyalty sales, which is a single percentage of the total sales that they're tapping. So just imagine the malls are doing 100 plus crores a year. They are not dying out by any means. Unless you are a crappy mall developer. Like, some malls have never worked in Bombay.
Right. Crappy stores are not going to work no matter what, right? I mean, that's just the nature of crappy stores.
Yeah, but this is massive, right? So obviously the amount of money is massive, and hence it works out.
It works,
right? But going forward, the user is who's changing. User behavior is changing.
It's changing, and I think the offline retail is also changing along with the user behavior. They have realized that we can never compete with I know now we are retailers who admit that we can never compete with online retail with the kind of discounts that they provide. What we can provide is an experience that the online world cannot provide, which they're right in.
Which is right.
Which is their domain.
Which they have to focus on. And how, so I want to actually ask you about the newer stuff as well. And I think it's an interesting move that you've made, of course. While I totally understand that, loyalty, one can only do so much. What made you move out of, obviously after selling the company and go into this new domain? And can you tell us a little bit about it?
So I'll tell you, when I walked out of the company, I knew I am never returning to loyalty again. I had made up my mind that I will never do a loyalty program again because it had taken so much of my energy.
Right.
And there are plenty of other opportunities, like you said, transactions and stuff like that. I was kind of thinking, what will make retailers tick? Two things. One thing rather make retailers tick a lot, where if you help them make sales, they are happy. Mm-hmm. Anything that you do that you are kind of, you're helping them make sales and you take a cut out of that sales, they're happy.
Right.
As long as they are getting the money in, the cash is rolling in. So I was trying to figure out what I want to do there. Can I help with transactions? Can I help them with customer acquisition? What can I do? So I came up with an idea which is which offline retail, surprisingly doesn't use too much. I wanted to create a micro-influencer marketing platform. When we talk influencer marketing today, what comes to our mind is the social media influencers, all those guys who have got a lot of following and, they kind of talk about products.
We just had an episode about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that works, but it doesn't, many of the retailers I've spoken to, it helps them with branding, but it doesn't get them sales. Right. So, and it's again another buzzword that I think they are catching on. It's a fad. It will also start getting, getting corrected. Like influencer marketing will also start going the right path. What I wanted to do is, can you identify that who your current customers are, and can you identify that who are the who can be influencers within your current customers, rather than relying on someone external, outside your door. You have got 100 people inside within your door. Can you tap into them and figure out if 10 can actually lead to more sales? They can be influencers? Because everyone's got a social media account, everyone's got friends, everyone's got this. So we created something called the new company is called Boomer. And we kind of created a product called Boomer Influence. We are still creating it. It's still in phases. Boomer Influence helps retailers to find out that who your customers are, and can you tap into those customers and help and ask them to influence their peer network to come into the to the store or the outlet and make a purchase. And it's a sophisticated way of saying we are running a referral program. But the difference here is that we are tapping into customers. We are identifying scores for these customers. We know that what their transactional behavior is with the brand, what their influencer or their social behavior is online, and can you give them a score? Basis of the score, you allot them a certain deal. That if they are able to get 1, 2, or 3 players to the store, they would be able to get some reward in return. And the guys also come in, and customer acquisition is something that this helps. Customer retention it helps. The guys who come in, we study their buying pattern over a period of time, and we also then make them into influencers.
Right.
So it kind of makes it into a multi-level marketing tree.
Wow.
This reminds me kind of like an offline version of what was that famous sale of the day kind of site that Amazon bought a couple of years ago?
Woot? No.
Woot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels like an offline version of Woot.
Something like that, because or you could say
Woot was just listed by the brand, though. Here it's by people.
Yeah, it's by people.
Right.
And here, if you know Amway, if you know Oriflame.
Right, yeah.
Tupperware.
Yeah,
These guys do a great job at multi-level marketing businesses. Right. Why did we want to do this model is because we felt that there is a great opportunity in multi-level marketing in retail itself, offline retail. So can I influence Sheila or someone else, and Sheila can influence someone else, and you can decide, the brand can decide up till what level do I want to give benefits.
Yeah.
And it's instant gratification.
And I can decide which brand. It doesn't have to be a Amway or Oriflame.
Yeah, that's
right.
This is a much more kind of evolved version of something like that, which I think is actually really interesting.
So online players do it beautifully. But the problem in online is like Uber, for example. If I use the Uber code and if I give it to Sheila, Uber will pay me for onboarding Sheila, but that's about it.
Right.
There's only a certain level of network that you can share the Uber code with, and then you'll stop.
Yep.
In retail, it can be repeated.
Right.
So the repeat purchase can happen, the acquisition can keep on happening, the retention will keep on happening. It's a new form of loyalty, but not loyalty in such.
You said loyalty.
Ah.
You said loyalty.
Oh, no.
Cut that part out.
Kunal, I think you're back where you started.
See, I'm trying very hard to get out. So it's so ingrained.
Exactly. But this is actually very interesting, right? Because I believe all new products and new technologies are some rehashing or rethinking of original ideas, right? When you say you think by first principles, right? Our behavior as humans is not changing. We still want deals.
Yeah.
We still want to be socially relevant.
Yes.
We still want to buy interesting things.
Yeah.
So it's all going to be a remapping of this intent by brands and obviously technology players like you in between. So I'm sure there'll be a version of this which will, it will.
So technology is an enabler at the end of the day. And I realize with InLoyal and with creating companies like Sale and Offers InLoyal, when you're the first mover or you're trying to do something radically new, you always have that tough time into getting people adopting that product or the market. Right. Sometimes you realize that maybe there's no market there, but you're trying to create a market outside. Right. So if you create a product and have to create a market at the same time, it's a tough proposition. So either the market has to be existing, or you have to have one or two players who's already done something so that you can learn from their mistakes. Right. Yeah. So kind of try to learn from what's happened before and do a better job at it.
That's right.
So that's what we wanted to do. And most of these services out there, you're right, will be remapping of, how can you make the services better?
Right,
How can you make marketing better? How can you make retention better or operations better? You'll have to kind of rethink on it. And, if it works, it works.
That's right. And in fact, like you said, right, even the market is, if it's talking about brands and offline retail, they're not going anywhere. They're definitely still going to try out new ideas.
Correct.
I still get the odd call about, hey, I want to implement beacons. And
Still,
we are trying to sell this and sell that and so on. And we are trying to, some new tech startup.
So one thing about loyalty I figured, even today, I get emails from customers whom I was hitting 3 years back.
Yeah.
We are ready to start now. I'm like, sir, yaar, ab maar do, jhaan le loge ab 3 years ke baad mein, we are ready to start now. So, sometimes it makes you feel.
And you said yes.
No. So I kind of try to get them, okay, this is a new thing that I'm doing. Not the same thing, because 3 years mein kafi kuch badal gaya bhai. So, I believe that even if you look at the subscription membership packages, the way Amazon Prime has picked up, the way subscription business models like Netflix and everyone has picked up. Uber is doing Ride Pass on a regular basis.
Oh, yes.
Ola has just started doing Ride Pass, and they had the Ola Select.
Yeah.
MMT, Make My Trip, has started doing something where it's double black, where you sign up for a year, you get certain benefits.
Zomato Gold.
Zomato Gold is a perfect example. So I believe the hospitality players like Taj and Marriott and Leela,
they've always
Taj is at
always
the
been
Inner
doing
Circle Club for the longest time.
And they are doing a brilliant job at it. They lock in the customers. If I tell you that, if Taj is telling you that, okay, pay $15,000, you get one night free, you get one brunch free, you get 50% off.
I did it for 4 years.
So
for 4 years I did it. Yeah.
All of us have done it.
Yeah.
All of us have done it. But then the next time you want to go to a 5-star, take your family or your friend or a colleague or anywhere, you will always think of Taj first.
Yeah, you're biased.
Yeah, you are.
You are locked in.
Yeah.
This particular form of, I wouldn't say loyalty, but this particular form of customer engagement or retention, locking in the customers, is what I believe will overtake loyalty. Because accumulating points has become boring. We are living in the 21st century, but we are still running on a loyalty program which was conceived somewhere in the 1970s, first time for an airline. So can we continue doing that? I don't think so. We'll have to reinvent. We'll have to figure out that what is the market moving towards. And we are not the first player then. These online players and hospitality players have already shown us that this is what can be done. Yeah. So this is another product that we are doing with Boomer.
Yeah.
Where we help offline retail guys to create subscription packages. We manage their payments, we manage their renewals, their subscriptions, their distribution of digital coupons, and then we track and analyze the data, that how many customers, what the customer behavior is, what the stuff is. So that's something also that is I'm trying at Boomer.
Awesome. It all sounds like loyalty again. but no, I think Kunal, I mean, thanks so much for sharing the story and obviously telling us about the new stuff you're doing. It's amazing to see where the story has come from and gone to, and I'm sure Boomer will really go.
Let's hope it booms.
Grow great. Yes, and like I said, shouldn't have any problem raising money. You just go and say,
So,
exited founder.
Yeah.
Like I said, you'll be the first to see the pitch deck.
All right. Then.
All right. So just everybody, quick reminder: please go to iTunes and give us nice 5-star reviews and write reviews as well. 5-star ratings, write reviews. That's very helpful. Also, go to our Slack channel, or rather, go to our website. ivmpodcast.com/Shunya1. Over there's a button for subscribing to the Slack channel. Please subscribe to the Slack channel. We'll send you an invitation and join us over there.
And where do people get in touch with you, Kunal? On Twitter?
On
maybe?
Twitter. I'm not as
influential.
not as influential as Sheila here.
Yeah, of course not. Who is?
What's your Twitter handle? Just so that
Kunal
people...
MH. Kunal MH, and you can just get in touch with me on Twitter.
Awesome. So thanks so much for doing the show.
Yeah.
And let's hope to keep the conversation going on Slack, like Amit mentioned.
Yep.
All right. Talk to you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Are you constantly seeking happiness? Wondering how to make the most of every day? How not to let your inhibitions stop you from achieving your goals? It's now time to get your A game on. It's time to unlock your true potential. Tune in to the Empowering series with me, Zarina Poonawalla, to feel empowered in all genres of life. From behavioral skills to management skills, from health to relationships, from mental well-being to emotional well-being, and of course your finances. I've got you covered. With these tips and tricks from me, Zarina, and true life stories from my amazing guests, you're bound to bring your purest to the table. Tune in to the Empowering series with Zarina Poonawalla every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey guys, this is me, Eva Bhatt, your host for the podcast 9XM Soundcast. This podcast is produced by India's largest music network, 9X Media. We have been catering music and you have been enjoying. And now we bring you a podcast where music inspires. Every week, I interact with some of the best minds from the music industry to understand their creative discipline. Every new episode will feature artists who will share inspiring notes from their journey, some valuable tips for budding artists. So do subscribe to the podcast where music inspires. Enjoy a brand new episode of 9XM Soundcast every Tuesday on IVM Podcast app or website or wherever you get your podcast from.